All right, you guys can hear me on Facebook Live. Meteorologist Evan Chickvara. Thought we would just do like a little recap or a little startup here, kind of a preview of what you can expect into the afternoon. We had that one tornado warning that was down in Hale County. That was right around 9:30, from 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So I thought we'd do an overall synopsis. What's going on here? It's been a long time since we've had to deal with any sort of severe weather here in Alabama. It's been a very quiet spring. Quiet start to the tornado season here in November. So let's get started. We'll start with the SPC outlook here, and this is what you can expect this afternoon. This is the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center, and Norman, Oklahoma have upgraded areas like Bibb County, Chilton County, Coosa, parts of Clay, southern Talladega, including Sylacauga, and Chambers County as well, and Randolph County in that slight risk area. Wouldn't get super caught up in the color that you're in. Just know that we have this potential anywhere where you're seeing that green or yellow this afternoon of a brief spin up tornado, perhaps a brief wind gust 60 miles an hour or so. And what we're probably going to see here in addition is some heavy rain as well. So I'm trying to get this shared onto my page here so that I can maybe answer some questions over the next few minutes about what we're going to see here this afternoon. But essentially what we've got here is a lot of very, very heavy rain. And as the system moves through here, there's going to be the occasional spin-up cell or two. This is our setup here today. We have a tremendous amount of what we call precipitable water. All right, that's a fancy weather term you don't need to necessarily understand. There's a lot of water up there in the atmosphere. And so anytime a front can interact with that, or we can conjure up a shower or a thunderstorm, you're going to get tremendous amounts of rain. We've already seen that at times here today. Lots of very heavy rain out there, but also a strong thunderstorm or two is possible. Now, I do fully expect that there will be a watch at some point issued. There is not one now. There's probably in the works with the National Weather Service office here in Birmingham and the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. They're going to get together and figure out where a watch needs to be, if indeed that is the case here moving forward. So let's start with the big picture here. This is a look essentially at the southeast in its entirety over the last 2 hours. You can see where we had that tornado warning, that one lone polygon there in Hale County. And I want to note this, that there was a brief debris signature on the radar. Didn't necessarily have a report at this point of a tornado that was down. Certainly looked that way for a couple minutes there on the radar. Everything now is just heavy rainfall stretching back from central Alabama into southern Mississippi. So we will watch this very, very closely as we head into the afternoon hours. Get a closer look at what's happening on the local level. And if you live in the Hoover area, if you live in Birmingham, boy, there's just been periods this morning with just a lot of rainfall, very heavy at times. And we'll likely continue to see that. If you live in Jasper, if you live in Fayette, Hamilton, Coleman, you really might be without some of the heaviest rain here today. You're just to the north of a boundary that's really ideally set up for the rain in places to the south and to the east here today. So I'm going to switch over to our Future View product and try to show you kind of a look into what the next several hours will be. I'm also trying to follow if there's any comments on here so I can answer questions if at all possible. Right now there's not an imminent threat anywhere of severe weather. We are only looking at about 3 lightning strikes in the last 10 minutes in this entire scan, so that's a good sign. The more lightning you see, the more we typically have in terms of instability. So here is our future view. We'll start this basically now and showing that rain really focused in areas southeast of a line from Demopolis, Centerville, Alabaster, over to Anniston and up to Center, Alabama, Weiss Lake. Areas along that line and to the southeast, we'll see the highest rainfall totals here this afternoon. And the best chance of seeing maybe a stronger thunderstorm or two. This is at 5 o'clock now, and half the state easily is in the clear, especially if you live to the north and west. So the rain will not be here all day unless you live in places like Alexander City, Ashland, Talladega, Rockford. We could see multiple rounds of rain through this evening and even overnight. This is at 11 o'clock, showing another surge of showers coming in from the south. By this point, there's no severe threat. That'll be ending later on this afternoon. Early on Wednesday morning, we completely flip the narrative and have a much colder air mass. So I hope you enjoyed 65 out the door this morning, because we'll be in the 30s tomorrow morning. So a couple of things we look at in terms of ingredients for severe weather. You got to have instability. That's like you put fuel in your car. You can have the nicest car ever. If there's nothing to make it go, it just sits there. Same thing. You can have a good setup in the atmosphere, but if we don't have any instability to get it going, there's no threat there. So this is a look at what we call the Enhanced Helicity Index. And this is a combination of the energy available and then where our winds are turning with height. So if our winds are in one direction, say at the surface, and another aloft, that's what causes the rotation. But you need air going upwards within that profile to get storms spinning, to get supercells. And this Enhanced Helicity Index showing very, very weak on that scale here today. You see a couple pulses, say down near Chilton or Coosa counties, and again, that makes sense. So areas to the south will have the better chance of seeing those conditions later on, but it's a very low-end one, and as you'd expect here today, these will be brief, embedded if they do come to fruition. After 5 o'clock, we just don't have the energy left over. Sun goes down, and any daytime heating has come to an end, so that would be the end of any severe threat later on this afternoon. One other thing here to mention, rain totals. This is just one model. This is our Barron 3K that I just showed you the future view for. I mean, if we see training in places like Talladega, Ashland, Rockford, Alex City, Clanton, we could see 2 inches of rain out of this easily. I mean, we saw very heavy rain this morning in Birmingham, some of the metro areas, outlying locations, and we could see additional training later on today where cells go over the same areas time and time again, so flooding could certainly be a problem here. And the rain impacts everybody. It doesn't have to be severe to be impactful. So again, just to recap here, over the next 12 hours or so, we will deal with the potential for rain, for some storms. This is the latest outlook in case you're just joining us on this Facebook Live here. Just trying to do a little set the stage for our 11 o'clock show. I'll be covering this throughout the news at 11 on 3340. But slight risk area for Clanton, Alexander City, Sylacauga, and southern Talladega County, Ashland. You're right on the line there, but a potential for a brief spin up here this afternoon. We have no active watches in place. That very well could be changing here in the short term. And currently on our radar, there are no watches, no warnings in place, but some heavy rain. So we'll watch this closely all day. Again, it's best just to have ways to be notified. I don't expect many of us to have to deal with severe weather today, but if something does come about, you're busy throughout your day. You're not watching the radar. You're not sitting here like me and just staring at radar for hours. I understand that. So just have a way to be notified, have a way to share with people if you can. It's been a while since we've dealt with any severe weather, so this is kind of like learning to ride a bike again. So hopefully you don't have to see me outside of shows or James or Riley or anybody here today, but we'll be here to keep you posted as we move forward. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday and stay dry. We'll see you at 11. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was still up or not. So.
Yeah, great job.
Thanks, guys.
Killed it.
Yeah, you did an awesome job.
You have that span quality that's like so easy.